I never say anything on television that I wouldn't say to somebody's face on the bench.
Right.
But I also say some wild shit on the bench.
Right.
I haven't gone Kendrick Perkins or Stephen A. I haven't gone completely out of pocket
Right.
where someone's calling me up and being like, yo, come on now.
What's up, world? Welcome back to Best of Both Worlds with Flau'jae. I'm back with another episode, and today we got someone special joining me. He's an NBA champion, 17-year vet, and now a powerhouse in sports media. Please welcome Richard Jefferson.
What's up, girl? How you doing?
Good. I'm doing really good.
Good.
Excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too. It's gonna be fun. I've been watching this journey. I've been watching the journey. We'll wait. We'll wait till we get started. We started. Have we started?
Yeah, we started.
Oh, okay. What's up? No, I've been watching this journey since McDonald's All American. I've been watching this journey for a long time. My girl Kayla Johnson connected us back in the day, and so to watch all the things that you have become and you're continuing to grow, man, I'm excited. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you. No, I was just talking about that. I mean, it was crazy. I remember I talked to you in high school. I was going crazy. I was like, yo. I really
Yes.
appreciate that. That was cool. I'm not gonna lie. Shout out
No,
to
it was good.
Kayla, man.
Yeah, shout out Kayla. No, but it was cool for me because again, I was one of those kids. I was a McDonald's All American. Had those dreams. I've watched, 20 plus years of young men and women kind of learning that space and accomplishing, because you get that in high school. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, that's it. There's no more discussion.
Yeah.
There's no more this. I did what I came to do in high school. That was the top. And so to watch your journey continue, oh, that's been a blessing for me. That's been a joy.
Thank you. Well, let's get into it. First, I gotta congratulate you on hosting your first NBA Finals. How does that feel to host your first ever NBA Finals? And how does it feel to go from like player to host now? This is crazy.
It is crazy. I think the transition from player, just like anything, you kind of transition into like, okay, well, this is what I'm gonna try next. This is what I want to do. This is how I'm gonna go do it. And you're like, well, if I'm gonna do it, I want to be good at it. And then you start to learn and you start to grow, and just like anything, you start to have some success, and you feel like you're because doing this job is not numbers based. Okay, I'm averaging 12 now. I'm averaging 18.
Right.
No, this is very okay. I did a good job here. There's technical things that I need to improve on, but there's not necessarily a grade at the end of it. So it's very self motivated, self growth, and how can I improve. But calling the finals, no, it's a dream. To think that the game that we love, the sport that we love, that's changed our lives, that I grew up watching as a kid, as an 8-9-year-old kid. Now I get to be one of the voices on the highest stage. Like, not only is it's a responsibility, but it's also an honor to have that responsibility. So, man, I haven't even gotten there yet, and I'm still just kind of cloud nine, just excited. It's not about me, but I'm glad to be a part of chronicling somebody else's journey.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. I wanna, for my viewers that don't know, I kinda wanna go back to your college hoops and like that whole evolution. Because you played in Arizona, but it was like a different era than what's going on right now. So like, what's one change in today's game that you wish you had back then? Is it NIL?
Nah, look, the NIL was great. The NIL was great. The NIL is great. I'm not here to knock the NIL. I see the problems. I think we just, like, the pendulum just swung. It went from, you had these kids that were all Americans making millions of dollars for universities, not being able to fly home to see their family. And then now the pendulum swung where kids can now take millions of dollars, hold out on contracts, and bounce from school to school to school to school.
Yeah.
I think both sides were wrong, and I think they probably need to find some middle ground. I was a big advocate for kids getting money, but I think the thing that I wish kids had now is, and it's not money, that I'm glad I had back then. I wish kids now could stay in one place and develop and still feel like they could be successful.
Yeah.
That's the one thing.
About that. I was just talking about that, how like, I said I hate the transfer portal. I like it. I love it, but I hate it at the same time because it's like there's no develop. Like there's no developing. You know what I'm saying? Because I know like if I wouldn't have went through certain things my freshman and my sophomore year, you know what I'm saying, would don't have nothing to do with basketball. Then like it's just certain things that you learn during college that a lot of kids I feel like they don't get because it's like you to this school, this school, this school. It's like starting over all over again. You don't really get to develop. I definitely been saying that, but
Do you feel like it hampers growth? Because the way I look at it, and I want to hear your because you're more you have AAU where kids are doing AAU at 8, 9 years old.
yeah,
Then they do all of this stuff, transfer different high schools.
yeah,
Then they get into college and it's like, oh, I can bounce around.
yeah.
And then all of a sudden at 25 years old, everyone's like, why are international players dominating the NBA? Well, look at our damn farm system. Look at what the hell we're doing. Look at how we're developing players.
Yeah.
Right. So from that standpoint, do you feel like it's very similar in the women's game? Because I've seen the women use the transfer portal as much as the men.
Yeah, no, I feel like now it's definitely similar. Like folks are going and then like they really going where the money at. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say it's like development. But you're right though, because I was just talking about on my last episode about the draft and stuff like that, how it was a lot of internationals high in the first round. You know what I'm saying? Even in the WNBA draft. So I was like, yeah, like this is getting serious.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's. I think again, we're gonna have lots of conversations. You'll see this. The more you're in this game, the
Yeah.
more you will critique the game. But if we look at international players, whether it's Jokic, Giannis, all these MVPs that we've had on our side,
Yeah.
and then people like they're like, well, all the OGs, LeBrons, the Kevin Durant's, the Steph Curry's. Well, the development of basketball in America has changed,
Mm-hmm.
and it's changed more towards capitalism and money,
Mm-hmm.
which doesn't necessarily change improvement. My freshman year, like for instance, let me give you a little tidbit about my history. My freshman year, I averaged 11 points a game. My sophomore year, I averaged 11 points a game. And my junior year, I averaged 11 points a game in college. Now, some of those are skewed because we had new guys, we had different guys, we had injuries, but there was still a development there. There was still a development every single year. I ultimately end up being the 13th pick in the draft. But had I just been bouncing around to where the money was at and, I wanted to go here, maybe I wouldn't have had that development that would have allowed me to play as long as I did in the NBA. You can go chase a bag over that 4 years,
Mm-hmm.
but is it going to help you for that big bag that could be potentially coming up later in your professional career?
Okay, I want to talk about your NBA and some championship stories.
Yeah.
Looking at your basketball career, 17 years in the league, and like you had a lot of success. I feel like I first I wasn't really watching the NBA, but I was watching the Cavs, and like when I
Yes.
played with you on 2K, you used to always hit my three. You used to always hit my three, no cap. So I used to always
Yeah.
play with that team. But we got to talk about the Cavaliers in 2016. But I want to know like what's the first memory you think about when someone asks you about the league? Like what's the first thing you're like?
The first thing that's a lot because there's so many things. Look, I'm still a fan. Part of the reason why I do this job is because I'm a fan.
Right.
I was a fan, then I became a player, and I was a fan while I was a player. Not necessarily like of people, but a fan of what we get to do every single day. So I would say the thing that I think about most is just those moments where something happens and you're connected to those people forever.
Mm,
Right? Those are the moments. It's like
yeah.
I lost in the national championship in Arizona, but you're connected forever.
Yeah.
You go to the finals, my first couple of years with the Nets, those people, you're connected forever. Forever. Like we have stories, we went places. And so with the Cavs team, I went to the finals early in my career, and then I went to the finals again year 15 and 16.
Mm,
So all of a sudden you're at the end of your career and you're like, I'm back on a championship team. So you're just loving those moments even more because it's about to end. You're with a good group of individuals. You're competing for something. For me, it's just that camaraderie, just
yeah.
that cracking jokes, making fun of each other, like flights, that stuff. The games, yes, like you miss the games, you miss those moments, but you also miss being with 10, 15 individuals that are psychotic just like you, that have overcome and persevered to be in this dream. That's the part. Being around like-minded people, that's probably what I miss the most.
Okay, and I want to ask because there's a lot of story behind it, but Cavaliers 2016, historic, right? Y'all recovered from a 3-1 deficit in the NBA Finals against.
Yeah. Yeah,
What
yeah, we did.
was like? I want to know, like, what was the mindset? Like, you down 3-1. Like, everybody knows
To
it's basically raps. Like, people, it's like it's rare to come back from 3-1. What was the
ah
mindset of the locker room at that time?
just a bunch of idiots, right? Locked in. No, it is. You have to be dumb enough and smart enough and crazy enough to believe you can do something like that.
Yeah.
And it's like most teams don't. That's why most teams haven't.
Mm,
And we felt like, hey, we had a chance, but there's also a level of, hey, why not us? Why not us? We do have the best player in the world. That always helps. We do have a collection of monsters when you look at Kyrie, young Kyrie, JR, Shump. Like when you look at our collection, like we felt like we had an opportunity, and then as it just I'm surprised to this day that it still happened. I can't believe it. So for me, when I look back on that, I look back at it as like you truly can't accomplish anything in a deficit. You just have to have the belief.
mm,
And it doesn't mean that it's going to work out. But if there would have been one individual that didn't believe that we can do it,
yeah.
there would have been no way for us to accomplish what we can accomplish. And that's what made it special. Yes, the coming back from 3-1. Yes, the Steph Curry, the team, the 73 wins. But what made it special is that there were 15 players and 8 or so coaches that never wavered in their belief that you could do it. That's more rare that you didn't have one guy on the back. Well, it's over. 1, 2, 3, Cancun. Or, oh, guys, well, we'll get them next year. Oh, this is some bullshit. There was none of that. It
Yeah.
was, all right, we got to go win one. We got to go win one in Cleveland or in Golden State. Come back, win one at home, and then anything can happen in a game 7. Everyone to a man had that mentality, and that's what made it unique.
That's fire. That is so. I know exactly what you mean. That's why I had to ask. Like, people think it's nah. Like, it's something deeper. Like, y'all have to be connected to do something like that. That's huge.
Yeah, girl, don't act like people don't understand. It's like it looks kind of easy when you did it, but looking back, you were not sleeping, you were not eating, your workouts were intense. Everyone's a little chippy, but everyone's calm, but everyone's on like
Yeah,
this ain't fuck around time. But everyone's trying to like be fun and not like act like they're stressed out. So it's this annoying combination of like, funny joke, but let's lock in.
yeah, facts.
Right? So
Right,
fact,
yeah,
look, don't get too stressed, but everyone calm down.
right. No, definitely.
Yeah.
I got a question. Who was the toughest player in the NBA that you had to guard?
I get asked this question and it's always different. And as a hooper, there's the stars
Yeah.
and then there's those like efficient role players that the
Mm,
minute you look one way, they cut back door. The minute you look the other way, they got offensive rebound. Like they're not a superstar,
yeah,
but it's just like you have to be on cue the whole time.
yeah,
So like for me, it's like, look, Kobe, Bron, KD, all of those guys, because physically, ability wise, KD was 6 inches taller than me.
right.
LeBron was 60 pounds heavier than me. Kobe Bryant was Kobe Bryant, right? It's like so all of these guys pose their different problems, and your job is to kind of
Right.
limit them. You're never going to stop them. But I would say guys that there's the Karolinkos, there Andre Karolinko, there's the Manu Ginobili, there's the those type of players that would do so many things on the
Yeah,
course of a game. They would get 2 blocks, they would get 8 rebounds, they would get 3 steals, they would get like those were the players that drove me nuts because I could look up and if I held Kobe to 10 for 23 and he had 28 points. I did a good job. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I did a good job. I kept them below 50%. That Karolinko, Manu Ginobili, those guys you would look up and they'd be 8 for 11 with 7 rebounds, 4 steals, and you'd be like, he whooped my ass tonight,
right,
right? So
right.
so those are the guys. Those are the guys that for me are a little bit. Would you rather guard a superstar that was trying to score 25 or would you rather guard one of those all-purpose players that average like 14, but do everything.
Yeah, no, them the scariest ones because like on the scout, you gotta know they crash into the board. You gotta know they gonna backdoor. So you on 10, like nah, I'd rather guard the superstar because I know what you gonna do. You gonna have the ball in your hands. You gonna try to go 1v1 and you cook. But the other, yeah, no, you're right. You're
Did the other ones? You looking around, you help, and you try, especially with those players, because you try and help out on the superstar, right? So like you're like, oh, I'm gonna lean over, and then all of a sudden that person cuts back door. You the one getting cussed out,
right.
and you was like, I was just trying to
I'm
help.
trying to help.
That's,
Yeah. So
I'm just trying to help. Don't help.
I
Do your job. I know you've heard that. I know you've heard that.
absolutely. I got a question. The women's game is developing faster. It's evolving faster. What role do you see women's basketball playing in the future of the sports culture?
Oh, it's huge. Like
Yeah.
I don't think I'm old. I'm an old man. So you got to go back to the women's World Cup in the 90s,
Mm,
right? Where it was like Mia Hamm, Brandy Chaz, these are people before you was born.
mm,
This group, they blew up women's soccer, right? They did outstanding. The women's World Cup was that. What I've seen from the last like 5, 7 years, and it wasn't just the Caitlin Clark, it wasn't just, it wasn't just the Angel Reese, it wasn't just that group. This has been building for years.
mm.
And then we see this burst, young players like you coming up, the growth of, seeing South Carolina do what they do, see what LSU, seeing so much of kind of the evolution of the women's game. I've been very, very blessed. I work with Ryan Rucco, who calls the women's Final Four and also calls the WNBA Finals. And when I tell you, just seeing the energy when he walks into a building, people are like, Rooks, or what'd you think of that game? Who's gonna be in the Final Four for the women's? Like that's what he's getting inundated with questions. And so I think we talk about the casual fan, and sometimes you say casual like they don't know nothing, but the casual fan is a fan
Right.
that makes your sport big.
Right.
The more casual fans that you have, the better it is. And I've seen more and more casual fans have interest in the college game and the women's game. And I'll tell you lastly where you guys have an advantage in the women's game because you guys do stay in college longer, you're able to build a connection to a fan base. You're able to build a connection. Watching you guys, win the national championship. Now I'm paying attention to LSU for the next couple of years, or I'm paying attention to Iowa the next couple of years, or South Carolina. You're able to watch UConn grow over years and watch the Paige Becker story. So you're able to watch so many people over multiple years where it's like you get to, to the men's game. It's like Cooper Flag, appreciate that 6 months, and now he's off.
Right.
So
Right.
now it's whatever team he's on. So I think the women's game has an advantage, and I think they should really continue to build on that, where you're going to see players in college for 2, 3 years.
Yeah. Speaking of Duke, you lost to Duke. Didn't you lose? My bad.
Yeah, I lost to Duke in the national championship game, and I hate Duke. First of all, anybody that you lose to in the tournament, you forever hate them. And the farther it is that you lose to them in the tournament,
You
the
hate
more
them.
you hate them.
Yeah, you hate
The
them.
more you hate them.
Yeah,
You
that's
hate them
true.
the most. And it's
Yeah.
look, respect Duke. I don't hate anyone. Such respect for Coach Krzyzewski. Been on his podcast. I have nothing but respect. But
Yeah.
my respect shows up in hate. I dislike him. My kids don't like Duke. They don't know anything about Duke, but
Right.
they know that in our household there's one team that every year when they lose in the tournament, I don't care if Arizona makes the tournament. As long as Duke loses, I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's a beautiful morning. And I can't even sing. That's you. I can't
I'm
sing.
dead. No, that's hilarious. I want to talk about a little bit about like media. Just coming from being a player to doing media, how was the transition when you first started? I know you said it was like certain stuff that you had to learn, but how did you take that same mindset kind of from the sports and bring it to the media world?
I focused on reps. I focused on reps. That was the
Yeah.
number one thing for me is how to get reps. So I started a podcast in 2016, the year after we won the championship.
Wow.
Me, Channing Frye, Allie Clifton, we did a podcast and we started having player. That's where Kyrie famously said the world was flat. Like all of that stuff was kind of spun like
Yeah,
on our
yeah, yeah.
podcast. Yeah, so all of that stuff happened, and it was because I had a person, because I went to the NBA, had a broadcasting school. I went there, and they were like, "Got to find ways to get reps. You got to find ways to get reps, especially as a player, because they all want you. When you retire, now you become the retired player." So I would do stuff like I would go in. I was playing for Utah. I would go into the local CBS television station and fill out an NCAA bracket. Anytime somebody would have me on television,
Right.
I would search out those reps. Like you're doing this with a podcast. In 5 years, do you know, like you're good at it now? Do you know how much better you're going to be in 5 years? Do you know how much better you're going to be in 6 years?
Right.
So I viewed everything as like getting reps, and it didn't matter. When I first retired, yes, I'm about to call the NBA finals this year. But when I retired, I worked for the Pac-12 network. I was calling Washington State versus USC. I was calling San Diego State versus USD. I was like, anyone that would hire me, I just want work. I want reps. I want to
Yeah.
get better. I want to watch my tape. So that's what I tell people, really, man, just in anything. The
Yeah.
more reps, the more time you get in. Same way you work on your jump shot, the same way you work with a coach. I work with a coach over here. He's like, Richard, don't use 12 words when 8 words would do. Forget the ums and ahs. Let's be
Yeah.
clear. Hey, make your point. Like, don't go, Richard, what do you think on this review? It's like, well, it's kind of tight, and I can see how the referee. No, yeah, I think that's a foul. That's the way they've been caught. It's okay to be wrong, but
Right.
don't waffle.
Right.
So those are the things that you learn over many many years, and I've been doing it only for 6 years. I say that, but in that 6 years, I got a lot of reps,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I just want to keep getting better. So I want to applaud you for what you're doing and getting these reps. It's not supposed to be pretty. It's not supposed to be sexy. This is all about like how you grow as an individual.
Right.
And I think you watching your journey and watching what you're doing, girl, you have a bright, bright future.
Yeah. Thank you. I really do appreciate that. Um, I know you have like a lot of like people you know in the league and like relationship with players. So do they ever get like mad at your takes? Like, have you ever had any not like conflict, but anybody was like, "Hey, yo."
Yeah, I've had a few where I was fortunate is that people in the league knew I was crazy. Like the personality that people see on
Right.
television, that's just who I've always been.
Right.
I just wasn't on social. So like whenever I say something, and you know this, because I'm like I don't know who's the most smart ass person on your team. And it's okay if it can be you.
Yeah. No, it's not me. It's I don't know.
Okay, who's the person that when some shit goes on, you're like, I'm not looking at them. I'm not gonna look at them because they gonna look at me.
Oh, it's
They gonna.
me.
It's you. Okay, okay. So everybody knows. See, it's you. So this is what I'm saying. I was always that guy in the locker room. So if something went down, people if they looked at me, I'd be like just in the locker room. So for me, I never say anything on television that I wouldn't say to somebody's face on the bench.
Right. Right.
Like that's my number one rule,
Yeah.
right? But I also say some wild shit on the bench.
Right. Right. Right.
You say some wild stuff, so you say some wild stuff on the bench, and so that's kind of where it is. I keep it in that rule.
Yeah.
I keep it in that rule. If I would say it next to you on the bench, like yeah, that was a bullshit shot. Like, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
are you okay? Like, slow down. Or yo, are you gonna play tonight? Like, in a joking way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's the way I talk on television. So I've been very blessed. I haven't gone Kendrick Perkins or Stephen A. I haven't gone completely out of pocket
Right.
where someone's calling me up and being like, yo, come on now. That's not my role. That's not my role.
If you could interview one player, past or present, who would it be?
Interview one person, past or present. Okay, I will say Michael Jordan number one
Yeah.
because he doesn't do interviews,
Right.
he doesn't do media, and just as a fan, like I think so much has been made between this who's the greatest and it's like man, can y'all just allow us to be fans?
Yeah.
Can y'all just allow us to just like love on these dudes and
Right. Right.
support these dudes and just appreciate them? Michael Jordan he was my childhood the same way LeBron James is other people's childhood. So it's like now we arguing over whose childhood is better. Like let's not do that. But outside of MJ, I think an interview that I would really really like. There's the Barack Obamas. There's the this. Well, you know. I don't know that was I feel like everyone if you're in the basketball space knowing MJ doesn't give interviews that would be a big
That's the
one
one. Yeah.
so that's the one.
Okay. Game time. Okay, usually
Let's go.
we play a game. I'll say a name and then you describe them in one word. But today we're gonna switch it up a little bit. Instead of just a word, you have to say one nice thing about the person that I mentioned. Okay.
Oh, I could do this all day.
Channing Frye.
Why you laugh at I didn't say anything? I am most proud of Channing because I think he overachieved on even his greatest expectations. He wasn't on any radar list going into his year, had an amazing senior year, goes top 10 in the league,
Mhm.
plays 13 years in the league,
Mhm.
has had an amazing career, all the things. But I've known Channing since he was 14, and he's always been like that little brother. We're both from Phoenix.
Mhm.
So he's always, in my opinion, he's overachieved on even what he thought he could accomplish. And that makes me happy and proud for him.
No, that's real. All right, LeBron James.
I wish people knew how well rounded of an individual he is,
Real.
how much he cares, teammates, family, friends. Like he's obviously guarded, but also it's because he cares. That's why he's guarded, because does have a big heart, even though he'd probably get mad at me for saying that. Like, is he perfect? No. Am I perfect? No. Is anybody perfect? No. But the amount of effort and time he spends trying to pour into other people, I haven't seen that from many people, let alone superstars.
I love LeBron.
And I'm really getting annoyed that I'm having to say these nice things about people, but I'm with it. I'm with
All
it.
right,
I'm with
number
it.
three, Duke University.
Okay, what I will say about Duke, um, I like tradition. I don't like their tradition, but I like tradition, so I respect. I respect them, but I don't like them. You can I don't like them. That's it. That's it.
Uh,
That's rude too to ask me to say something about my mortal college enemy.
I'm just a messenger.
Okay.
Dwight Howard.
Ha! The thing I love about Dwight, again, whenever you see Dwight, he's got a smile on his face. And that's the type of energy I have. Um, we're just at a Laker game, maybe it was a Laker game, and my kids were there. He came up, gave my kids, big high five, took a picture with them. Like I like Dwight. Is he perfect? No. And I say all that to say because people always want to be like, well, he could have done this. Dwight should have been a 75 greatest of all time. He was that dominant,
Fact.
without a doubt.
Absolutely.
With like one without a doubt. That was a tragedy. But I enjoyed when he wasn't arguing with the officials, that he did things with a smile on his face. And for that, I appreciate Dwight.
Okay, two more.
Oh, I got you. I got you.
Kendrick Perkins.
Oh, this mother. Kendrick Perkins, outside of maybe Stephen A, is probably the hardest working person at ESPN. The hardest worker.
Mm.
Like he's there doing every Sports Center hit. He's doing every show. He's flying. He lives in Houston, so he has to fly to LA. He's got to fly to New York to do hits. He's doing all stuff, but also he's got little kids that he's going to every basketball game and football game. So the man is literally just
Yeah.
going 24/7, doing work. And I can say, like, he works harder than I do, right? From the standpoint of the amount of hits, the amount of time, the amount of hours that he puts in. And so when people want to complain, it's like, if you want to come do his job, if you want to come be on television for 8 hours and come up with new stuff and talk about every game and have to watch them and prep and do all that, if you want to come do it, if not, just shut up and listen.
No, that sounds like
No, it's a lot. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
Chine.
Okay, one good thing I could say about Chennai, same thing. I've been very, very blessed. The crew of people that I work with over at NBA Today, Perk, Chennai, Malika, everyone comes in with a positive energy. Everyone comes in excited to talk about basketball. I'm actually very impressed with Chennai because of the work that she has done. She can host shows. You get ready for that. She can host shows. She is an analyst. She's done WNBA. She's done NBA. She has to do, in order to talk, at a high level about all of these topics, the amount of work and hours that you have to watch
Yeah.
is, and you're talking about college basketball, pro basketball, and then she does pro on the men and women's side, and she does women college. That's a lot of prep to know the names, to know the coaches, the systems, the flow.
Dang,
That's
yeah, that is.
yeah. Think about that. She got to know all the teams, all the players, how to say their name, all the systems, what they're doing, what's their defense rank, what's their offense rank. Then has to get on and talk intelligently about that and formulate a thought. People don't understand how hard that is, and Sinead puts in hours of work.
That is so hard. No, I have to go like one day. I want to just go behind the scenes and really see.
Come kick it with
Yeah, I
us.
have to because that just sounds
Yeah.
wow.
100% you can get in. Malika Andrews, she's coming. You come in, watch her do the prep on the show. Then me, Chene, and Perk show up like 10 minutes before show, stress her out. And we show up right before the show. We do it. And then we do a lot of stuff in between. We do some social stuff or whatever. But if you want to come check out the show and see the work that goes into it every single day,
Yeah.
you are more than welcome. 100%.
I'm gonna hit you up about that. But I want to say thank you for
Done.
joining. This was a great episode. I really, really had a great time. I can't wait till this drops. And thank you for gracing the show. Anything that you have coming up that you want to promote, anything, then now is the time.
Okay, now is the time. This is what I would say. I think you have done an outstanding job. I did not know about you. Our girl Kayla Johnson was like, "Hey, my girl, she's gonna do it," and I'm like, "Yeah, cool." And then I get to watch you, and like I said, as a fan of the game of basketball, to watch your journey, to watch you grow, see all the things you have and will accomplish. Like it is fun to be a fan of someone, and I know that I get to watch your journey for the next 10 plus years, and that part to me is the only thing I want to promote is the amount of respect that you get throughout our league, throughout our conversations. And so when I had the opportunity to come on here, I was like, yo, I'm in, I'm done, done.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that for real. Thank you.
My pleasure.
All right, y'all. We back again with In the Mix. Let's break down the big moments and everything that got us talking. Let's get it. All right, let's talk about the off season. Y'all always ask me what my off season is like, so I'm gonna tell y'all what my day looked like. So yeah, I've never like been on tour in my off season. So what I'm doing right now is pretty different. But what my off season usually looks like, I'm usually in LA, New York, or Atlanta, and doing something with music, shooting music videos, doing media, doing radio. I don't know, BT Awards and things like that. But my day to day is just kind of getting my workouts in, my basketball workouts, doing all of that, and just getting straight to it. It's a lot of stuff that comes with what I do, and I just have to be everywhere and at events and things like that, networking with different people, putting out music, promoting that. So, man, it's just a lot to do what I do, but. I don't know. It's pretty fun. I feel like I work harder in the off season than I do in season for school because I'm doing two things. So I feel like I'm working much harder. Like I feel like I'm doing basketball, I'm doing music, and during the season I'm kind of just doing basketball. I'm doing some NIL stuff here, some music stuff here, but usually I'm just doing basketball. And so it's a lot more hectic trying to train and all of that. So sometimes I go to certain states to train, or a certain time I'll pull up my own person, or I'll just meet a trainer that I worked with before. So like when I'm in LA, I know I can train with Olin. We worked out. We had a couple of sessions together, and they were pretty good. So I know I can go out there and train with him. And when I'm in New York, I hit up Chris Brickley. So I can go to certain cities and know, what I'm saying, where the trainers that are there. But I usually just find the gym and get to it. I thought I did a great job with my conditioning last year, but I got to do even better now because soon as the season ends, I'll be going to the WNBA. So just taking care of my body and things like that. That's something that I really learned, taking care of my body. That's one thing I'm going to be doing heavy. So, yeah, it's the same thing. Get to the work, get to the money, put the shots up, and just get to it. I do go hard though. Like I go super hard. I try to do three workouts a day. I'm trying to get stronger. So it's just what comes with it, bro. It's like a lifestyle. Like it's not really a choice at that point. It's just a lifestyle, and that's that's what you got to do if you want to be who you want to be. And it's my last year, so I'm definitely giving everything. Like going to the next level with it. That's the only way I can. I don't train with anybody else. I have my teammates, like if they want to train with me or something, they want to hop in, they could train with me or something like that. But I don't usually train with anybody. I have my own trainers. And but yeah, if I want to work on like footwork stuff, like I said, I asked Chris if he was gonna let me train with him, like with my footwork stuff. But hey, we probably not gonna train. But I do want to just work on my feet and stuff like that. So I'm definitely gonna be working with different trainers. But I do like to train by myself. But I like to train in groups too, cause they people push you. But I don't know. I usually just train by myself. Nah, you just train by yourself, and then we come back in the summer and we all kind of train together. So, we have like a month or two to just go be with your family. That's one thing I love about playing for Kim Mulkey. She give you the summers off. So, but we come back and do conditioning and try to just get straight to it by the time like August come around. By the time July come around, yeah. Tips for other athletes training, I feel like in the summer you need to really play a lot of basketball. I think nowadays, like, a lot of kids are so, like, stuck on, like, training, like, they don't hoop. And I feel like you get those instincts from just playing basketball. So I would just say go on the court, and as much as you train, this should be as much as you play. I don't care if you're playing 21, 5s, 3s, you know what I'm saying, airman for themselves, whatever. You should be playing. Like, you should be, you know what I'm saying? Figure out how to maneuver through people. Figuring out how to use the instincts and all of the training that you're doing. I think that is a lost art in basketball right now. Kids just train. Like, no, go play. And if you don't have an AAU team that you're going to play on, find a team you can play on and just go play. Because that's how you get good at basketball, by playing basketball. All right, now it's time for Live from the Flauk. Let's see what y'all want to know. More Trainer said, where you been since after the tournament? I ain't gonna lie, man. I took a little hiatus, bro. I was too heartbroken to be on social media, bro. I had a lot going on. I was really irritated. Like, after we lost, bro, I needed some time. All right, number 2, Brianna Chick said, what are you looking forward to in the coming months? I don't know, bro. I'm looking forward to just, like, trying to be a better version of myself and operate at a high level. So that's one thing I'm just really looking forward to. Just really working on myself and being the best version of myself in all ways. Number 3, are you going to any WNBA games? Oh my God, that's crazy that you said that. I literally was just like, I'm going to some games this year. You know, I got to go to a lot of games. I got to go see Nice. I got to go to Atlanta Dream. I got to see Paige. If y'all have any questions for Live from the Flauk, make sure y'all send them to the Instagram at Both Worlds. Y'all can comment them. Y'all can DM them. Just make sure you hit me with the questions. All right, let's get into a little what would Flau'jae do? Somebody said, all right, Flauk, I need some advice. Do you think she's really my girl or am I just tripping? We talk pretty often, but she's always active on her story and still leave me undelivered. What that really say? Bruh, I literally was just, I literally was just I'm really just mad because somebody was active on their Instagram and they weren't texting me back. And it was really irritating because it was like active 4 minutes ago. And it's like, I know you seen me text you. Like, but I don't know. I mean, it just depends on y'all bond. If you have to ask, that's probably not your girl. She probably somebody else's girl. Not gonna lie to you. So I would kind of just, just do a little fallback from that. See if she want to talk to you. Because for me personally, I know I want to talk to somebody or just check in on somebody that I'm talking to. So I don't know. Flauk can't tell you what to do because Flauk gonna spaz. It ain't gonna get to the point where I'm gonna deliver for 30 because I'm a double back. Like, no, don't play with me. But let's go to the next one. Flauk, I need your take on this. Me and this guy have been talking heavy, texting every day, FaceTime and all that, but he still hasn't introduced me to any of his friends. Is that a red flag or am I overthinking it? I don't know. You might be overthinking it a little bit. Me personally, I don't want to meet none of my boyfriend's friends. Not gonna lie. Maybe that's just me though. I don't know. Like, I don't know if that's just maybe a me thing, but I don't usually like none of the friends. So I was like, yeah, I don't think I want to meet them for real. Like, but if that's important to you, maybe you should tell them, like, you know what I'm saying? Why you don't ever, why have you, I met any of your friends? You know what I mean? Like, wait, is it like girlfriends? Because that is a different story. You know what I'm saying? Like, hold up. Hold up. See, now you get making me upset because what you mean he ain't introduced you to his friends? Is it girls' friends or the boys? Because the boys like, I don't want to meet none of your friends. Like, you know what I'm saying? They ain't my friends. Like, your friends are not my friends. So I don't know about that. But if it's a girl though, I don't know. That's another episode of Best of Both Worlds with Flau'jae, powered by Overtime. Please like, subscribe, and follow. It really helps us on the show. Find us on TikTok at Flau'jae Show and Instagram at Both Worlds. Thanks again to Richard Jefferson for joining me today. I'll see y'all next time on Best of Both Worlds with Flau'jae, powered by Overtime.